Hey there guys, so this video is all about my experience as working as an Amazon delivery driver. With the things they make you do, is it worth it? Do they actually look after you? As well as how much money you can actually earn. So during lockdown, I didn't have any work, so I thought it'd be a good idea to be a delivery driver for Amazon, as they were just hiring so many people during that time. I couldn't get a job directly with Amazon, so instead I went for a contractor company. Pretty much does exactly the same job. Amazon hires contractor companies to deliver the parcels on their behalf. So instead of getting paid and employed by Amazon, you're just getting paid and employed by a contractor company, but you're doing the same job. To be able to do the job, you need to have a full driver's license, need to be able to drive a van, and have the capability to deliver anywhere in the region between 200 to 300 parcels per day. If you don't have a van already, you'll have to rent one from the company you're going to work with. So you'll have to take this payment into consideration. With regards to payment and fees, I will show you all of that at the end of the video, even showing you my exact invoice payment. So yeah, stick around for that. So taking all of this into consideration, I thought, sounds easy enough, let's do it. After an induction day where the company does background checks on you and your driver's license, as well as a few days training on understanding how the process of the job works, you then get placed on a day or two of training or a ride along where you train on the job with an existing delivery driver. You learn what goes on from day to day, so picking up parcels, to driving to customers' houses, to scanning parcels, bit more technical stuff, but yeah, and so on. Once that is done, you are then on your own, where you have got to meet at the warehouse for 8 o'clock in the morning every day if you're doing a morning shift, where you and hundreds of other drivers wait in a queue and line up to collect all of your parcels for that day. Each 100 or so drivers drive up to the warehouse in waves. You park up outside the gates, collect your parcels, and then drive off. And then the next wave of 100 or so drivers collect their parcels, drive off, next wave, and so on. That's how generally it works. So how this works is that each driver has dedicated routes already allocated to them and in order by the team that work inside the warehouse. So when you arrive in the warehouse, you look for your route number, or your route number if you're American. Look for your route number on designated bays, which are all the parcels that are allocated to you. You wheel out the trolley of bags and parcels and load them all up into your van in order of what will be delivered first. You have around about 15 minutes or so to do all of this because, like I said before, the next wave of 100 or so drivers are waiting to come in. So if you're faffing around a bit and taking your time, the ground marshals they're going to be shouting at you, so you better be quick. Now, when you first start, you won't be delivering at full capacity because you need to get your toes wet, so to speak. So instead of delivering, 300 parcels a day, you'll be delivering around about 100 to 150 parcels a day until you start getting used to what you're doing. Then it will eventually build up to full capacity where your van will be so jam-packed you could not even fit any more parcels in. Now, you may have seen these big colourful bags that are used by Amazon drivers. You see, parcels that are to be delivered in the same area or the same road go into these big bags. It just makes life so much more easier, and instead of having parcels just scattered everywhere in the van and having to pick one up each time trying to find if it's the right house or not, just put them into the bag. They go in the same area. It just saves you just so much time. Any parcels that can't fit into these bags, you'll just have to put them in order somewhere in your van, which you will know, so you can just pull out when you arrive at your customer's house. So once you've got all your parcels, you've loaded up your van, you're ready to set off, it's time to sign in to the Amazon app. It's called Amazon Flex. It's a little bit different to the normal Amazon shopping app. It's used solely for delivering, which has all your routes and parcels on. It gives you an overall estimate of when you should be at customers' houses and how long it's taken and how many miles you've driven and so on, which your company can keep track of, so they will always know where you are and how many parcels you've delivered. So once you're ready to set off, you click start and the app automatically sets a route for you from first customer to your last customer. It's all done by distance from A to B to C to D all the way to Z. So there's no need for you to keep looking up addresses on where to go. The app does it for you. Now you're on the road, you're driving to your first customer. Now, the main thing to consider when driving to customers' houses is, where the hell am I going to park? Depending on what area you're delivering to, for which mine was South London in England, sometimes you won't be able to park outside the customer's house. You might have to park up the road to find a parking space and then walk down. Just get all your parcels together for that road in one of those big bags, walk down with it and just deliver it. I found that the most helpful way. Or you could just do what most drivers do and just park up outside the customer's house in the middle of the road, hold up traffic behind you, get out, get the parcel, run to the customer's house, knock on the door, leave the parcel there. You may wait for the customer to open the door, but you're not going to. So you just leave the parcel, get into your van, drive to the next house, again, park in the middle of the road, cut traffic behind you, get out, knock on the door, parcel there, leave it there, don't even bother for them to open the door. You get back into your van, drive to it just never, you're constantly not only holding up the traffic behind you, but you're not even paying attention to making sure that the customer can get their parcel. I hate it when drivers do that, and I never did it. I never did it. It's so infuriating, and drivers still do it to this day. I never did this because, one, I didn't want to be that guy and just hold up traffic behind me, but also, if the customer wasn't home, I always followed the correct procedures on what to do with the parcel. It's nothing to do with being a goody-goody and, doing everything by the book and making sure you do it right and, oh, this is the rules, you're meant to follow this. Like, no, that's your job. You're a delivery driver. You deliver the parcels to the customer. Make sure that they get it. Don't make sure that some other random person steals a parcel, then the customer doesn't have their parcel. It's bloody annoying. So the correct procedure on what to do if there is no customer home, there is a list of instructions what you can do on the app. The first thing is you can either message or even phone the customer. You can ring them up, say to them, hey, I'm outside your house. Where are you? I've got your parcel. If they don't pick up the phone, then sometimes they might have left instructions under the notes section. It might say, leave the parcel in the shed, here's the PIN number, or leave it in the garden, or leave it behind the plant pot. If they say that, great, then you can leave the parcel there. If not, then you go down the list and you could probably leave it at a neighbour's house. You can then say, I've left it at door number 6. If you do manage to leave the parcel in an area or with a customer, you then have to take a picture with the parcel in where it is, which will show up on the customer's account so they can see where it is and they can go and get their parcel. So you've got all these procedures that you need to follow. Instead, what most drivers do is knock on the door, there's no answer, just leave the parcel by the doorstep and then just walk along. That is how parcels get lost and stolen. So please just stop doing it. It's so annoying. Whenever I waited for customers to open the door, they would always say, oh my God, thank you so much for waiting and checking that I was in, because normally we get drivers that just leave the parcel and then they get stolen because the area that we live in, it's known for thieves and they take Amazon parcels. So thank you for just waiting for me to open the bloody door. Like, it's so just common sense. I'm like, hey, that's what I'm here to do. Don't worry, it's fine. Delivery drivers, put yourself in the customer's shoes. If you were waiting for a parcel to show up and then it gets stolen, it's so annoying, isn't it? So just stop doing it. I just don't get it. However, you may be thinking, why? Why are drivers doing this and still doing it to this day? Why are they in such a rush? Why can't they just wait for the customer to open the door? Well, I actually do know this. Online shopping grows bigger and bigger every year, which means more parcels need delivering, especially if you've got 300 plus parcels that need to be delivered every single day. time really is of the essence, which is why drivers don't want to hang around. It's literally just go, go, go. And particularly during lockdown, no one was out. Everyone was online shopping, which just made it so much worse. However, the thing that I don't understand is, remember I said before about the company you're working with, they can track how many parcels you have and have delivered. Well, whenever I was close to delivering all my parcels, I would always get a call from my manager saying, oh, hey, I can see that you'd delivered all your parcels. Do you mind going to another driver, picking up his parcels and delivering them all for him? This was so annoying. Like, what is the point in trying to finish really quickly and deliver all your parcels just so you can finish work early? Because you're going to get a call from your manager saying that you need to go and help out another driver, and you've got to waste time. You've got to drive to their location, pick up 40 or so parcels because they're either really slow or they started at a much later time than you and they need help delivering their parcels. Like, it makes no sense. This would wind me up so much because every single day you don't know when your finishing time is, because you never know if you're going to have to help someone else out. I remember once I delivered all my parcels. I got a call from a manager saying, can you go and help out another driver? Drove to his location, picked up his parcels, delivered his parcel or his extra parcels, and then finished them. Got another call from my manager saying, hey, I see that you finished. Can you go to another driver, pick up his parcel? I went and did that. It's just constantly, I can't work like that. I just need to know when my finishing time is, and that's it, and go home. Because once you finish a job, you're done. You go home, you clock off, not then keep carrying on. So once I eventually grasped hold of this, I then thought, what's the point in trying to hurry? So I just ended up slowing down and just took my time with the job because I didn't want to keep wasting my time delivering other people's parcels. I mean, I'm not 100% sure if you can say no. So when your driver rings you up and say, hey, can you go and help out this other driver and deliver his parcels? I don't know if you can just say, no, I'm gonna go home. I never did that. I didn't know that was just part of the job. I didn't know that you had to do it. So yeah, I may be wrong. Who knows? But that is what happened to me anyway. Now, I don't know if this is directly for Amazon or if it's with contracted companies as well, but I think you're supposed to get something like £1 extra for every additional parcel that you deliver if you deliver someone else's parcels, which is great. However, I don't believe I got any of that extra money because as I had only just started, I think I was still on a probation kind of period. So this was just expected for me to just do it for free, really. But as I say, I think you get £1 extra after a certain time, which I guess in the long run could be okay. Now, when you finished and stopped delivering other drivers' parcels, it's time to actually go home. However, if you have any parcels that were undelivered, there's two things that you're supposed to do. Either drive back to the customer's house and attempt to re-deliver the parcel, or if that doesn't work, you're supposed to take them to a designated place. Normally this is a designated place that has been allocated by your manager or your company. What will happen is that there is a driver waiting for a few hours or so for all drivers in the borough to drive to him and give them all their undelivered parcels. Then that driver will then drive back to the Amazon warehouse and get rid of all the parcels, which will be then delivered for the next day. However, most of the time I was mucked around so much having to deliver other people's parcels. Doing this made me late. So late that I missed a chance on giving my undelivered parcels to the designated driver who goes to the warehouse, because they only wait around a few hours or so. Once they're gone, they're gone. So because you're not allowed to take parcels home and just deliver them the next day, and if you've missed a designated driver who goes back to the warehouse, you've guessed it, you've got to drive all the way back to Amazon's warehouse and return them yourself. And do you get paid for this? No, you do not. Do you get paid for fuel driving all the way there and all the way back home? No, you do not. And this is one of the main things that pissed me off. You see, I forgot to mention how payment works. You're supposed to work the hours of around 8 AM to 5 PM or 6 PM. That's if you're doing a morning shift. Anything additional, you don't get paid. And for fuel expenses, well, you think being Amazon that they'll just cover everything. Nope. You only get paid fuel expenses from the first customer's house to the last customer's house. So, driving to the warehouse in the morning to pick up parcels, fuel isn't covered. Driving from the warehouse to the first customer's house, fuel isn't covered. Driving to toilets or, bathrooms or restaurants for breaks, fuel isn't covered. Driving to other drivers' locations to pick up additional parcels, fuel isn't covered. Driving to the Amazon warehouse at the end of the day because you've missed the designated driver, fuel isn't covered. So I thought to myself, all this fuel that isn't covered, that I'm paying for out of my own pocket, what is the point of this bloody job? And in terms of other things they don't cover you for, you may have seen over the years news articles that Amazon don't cover drivers for their breaks or even toilet breaks. Well, this is kind of a grey area because they say they do, but they technically don't, because you just simply don't have the time with the amount of parcels that you have to deliver. I mean, for me, I did carry a cup. I left it in the back of the van, and whenever I needed to go, I just pulled the back doors and just hovered, did my little wee, and then just chucked the cup outside. I mean, thank goodness I didn't need to do a number 2, because if I had to really go and I was desperate, I think I would have probably had to poo in a cup. Now, the moment you're probably here for, how much money do you actually earn? Well, a standard day shift is normally around about the £130 mark. You can convert that into your own currency. However, in the winter, it normally rises to about £150. This is to do with, people Christmas shopping. There's a lot more parcels to deliver. Now, you may be thinking, that ain't bad, just driving around delivering some parcels and getting paid £130 to £150 a day? That's a bit of me. Well, yes, true. However, you're forgetting the fees. If you don't own your own van, you have to rent one. So that comes out to around about £30 a day or £200 a week. You then have to pay out for some of your fuel, which I mentioned before. So let's say anything from £10 to £20 a day, which now leaves you with making £80 to £110 a day. And going through everything I said before, it's just not worth it in my opinion. So I quit. And as promised, here's what my invoices looked like for 10 days. Okay, so this is my first invoice. I worked on the 22nd of the 11th, 2020. We have got 2 days. I think these are obviously some training days. I did 9-hour days, £302.64. That's my 2 days of training as well. Like the ride-alongs, so £220.50. Some miles that they paid me for from customers' houses. Delivering to £16.06. So altogether for, what was that, 4 days work, £539.20. We've got some fees to take off. So we've got van and insurance, pretty much £60. That's for the 2 days of driving on my own, I'm presuming, for the £30 a day. Some background checks. When they check like your DVLA and your driving history, for some reason I have to pay the brunt of that. So that's £50. Deductions altogether, 109, so £110. So yeah, I got paid £400 and let's say £30 for 4 days work. So that is the first invoice. We go to the next one. This is now on the 29th of November 2020. We did 6 days for this period. So that comes to £907.92, and this is still at £151 daily rate. We've got here additional services. I don't even know what these were at the time. I think they could have been picking up my own van, I think, and they paid me some for it. And then our miles for the 6 days. So altogether, just under £1,200. We got some deductions. Vehicle deposit. I don't even know why I had to pay it. I don't really understand that. We've got the van and insurance, so £208 for the 6 days. We've got £5 for missing ad blue. No idea what that is, but I've been charged £5. So that's £263 deduction. So altogether, from £1,200, that's dropped down to now £934 for the 6 days. And then for my last invoice, this is on the 6th of December now, 2020. I did 2 more days, £302.64. 4, and for those 2 days I only got £20.37, so that leaves me altogether £323. I got some fees to take off. I've still got this vehicle deposit deduction. Why am I paying that? I don't know. Van and insurance, £208.04. So take away that, I'm left with £64 for 2 days work. Pretty shocking. That's the fees for you. So the grand total comes to £1,428.57 for my time at Amazon. Take away paying for fuel, so maybe around about £1,300 for 15 days of work, which is consisting of training days and full shift days. And along with all the stress and headaches and just palaver and just pettiness, yeah, just definitely not worth it in my opinion. You know, it really is just so much stress. You know, I think I'd rather go back to my other lockdown job and work in the supermarket again. So what do you think of all of this? Would you go and work for Amazon, or, you know, have you done so already? It's just crazy to me, you know, the amount of money that Amazon makes, particularly even in lockdown. Even Jeff Bezos, one of the richest men alive, and he can't afford to pay his staff correctly. Probably makes sense why he's made so much money. Anyway, thanks so much for watching the video. Hopefully it's given you a bit of an insight into what it's like to work for Amazon. If you've got any questions, fire them my way and I will gladly answer them for you if you're looking to be a delivery driver yourself for Amazon. But in the meantime, I guess I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching and we'll see you soon. All right, bye.